Cleo Smith this morning has been found alive and well in her hometown of Carnarvon in Western Australia. Just in the last hour, WA police have announced they found the little girl in a locked house. They broke into that house at around 1 a.m. local time.
A man is now in custody and is being questioned. Let's go straight to Evelyn Manfield in Carnarvon. Evelyn, we broke this news on the program just half an hour ago. An extraordinary development. What have police said about what went on?
Well, 4-year-old Cleo Smith, who's been missing for 18 days, was found alive and well. Police breaking into a locked home in Carnarvon where she was found in a room. And Cleo Smith ran into the police officer's arms and she's been found alive and well. She's been reunited with her family. We're actually at her family's home in South Carnarvon. So her mum, Ellie, and stepdad, Jake, have been here in Carnarvon. They were on that camping trip with her on that Friday night, about a 50-minute drive from here at the Quobba Blowholes, the campsite, where they're all camping together, and they hadn't seen her since. So, you know, her parents have spoken and, talked about how terrified she would have been. But now we've found her. Now, police have put out a statement. Let's take a listen.
A police team broke their way into a locked house in Carnarvon at about 1 a.m. They found little Cleo in one of those rooms. One of the officers picked her up into his arms and asked her, "What's your name?" She said, "My name is Cleo." Cleo was reunited with her parents a short time later. This is the outcome we all hoped and prayed for. We'll have more to say on the rescue of Cleo as the day unfolds. But for now, welcome home, Cleo.
Evelyn, I can't imagine what the police would have been feeling that moment when those officers broke into that locked house, got into that room and had confirmation that the little girl they were holding was indeed Cleo, who they had searched so much for. You've been witness to a lot of that search. You know just how much work has gone into it. And I guess also, even though the police are professional, they've got a job to do, there's a lot of emotion that's been behind this frenetic work.
I know, I can't wait to hear the story from the police officers who went into that house and asked, "What's your name?" And she's obviously replied saying, "My name's Cleo." I mean, the relief that they would have had. This search has been enormous for the WA Police Force. We really can't understate that. They've been in the air on horseback for days after days. They've had thousands of bits of forensics that they've been looking through, thousands of phone calls. They've been looking at data from phone towers, CCTV. They were trying to access satellite imagery. Like the investigation, they put up a $1 million reward. It's been such a massive effort for police, and they said yesterday that they felt like they were getting closer. They said there were only a small handful of people who were in the area that night that they hadn't been able to identify yet. So they were getting more hopeful. But of course, they were also saying as each day passed, the hope sort of faded for what they'd be able to find. But, this is everyone in Carnarvon, in this community, has been hoping. They've all tried to keep their spirits high. When we've been, over the past week, talking to people, and, my colleagues earlier than that, talking to people on the street in Carnarvon, how are they feeling? Everyone was just uneasy, but they had that sense of hope. They were really carrying with them that sense of hope because they just wanted 4-year-old Cleo home. I mean, she's got a young sister, Isla. She's got a school that she hasn't been able to attend for weeks. She missed out on Halloween, dressing up with her family. I mean, people just wanted her home so badly. And
Evelyn, just to remind people, because we've all been following this day in, day out, she was last seen from memory about 1:30 a.m. on that Friday night in her tent. Her mum had got up to sort of check on her or take her to the toilet, give her a glass of water. And it took them a little while after she'd been reported missing to sort of understand that zip was at a level that ruled out her walking off by herself. There were so many theories that they had to really dive into, didn't they, to try and rule them out, I guess, as they continued this work.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can step you back through the timeline if you like. So, Cleo woke up about 1:30 on that Saturday morning when her mum gave her a sip of water. Then they went back to bed. They were in a tent that was like a big family tent, you know, the type that's sort of divided. The kids are in one room, the parents are in the other. And by the time Ellie, Cleo's mum, woke up at about 6 o'clock, Cleo was gone. Now, at the time, police did an enormous search of the area. I mean, you guys would have seen vision. The vegetation out there is dense. So SES came in and people were, you know, sort of line searching the area. We had people on horseback. It's a really rugged part of the coastline as well. So there were police out there looking to see if potentially she'd, you know, fallen in the water or something. It just wasn't known whether she had wandered off. So there was a big search for that. But then those details came out that the zip of the tent was actually higher than Cleo could have reached. And that led police to think that she was abducted. And so they, you know, the investigative operation sort of launched with ferocity, and they were out trying to find any sort of clues. They were searching through 50 cubic metres of rubbish bins, you know, roadside rubbish to try and find clues. So, I mean, police said it, and it's clearly true, isn't it, that they left no stone unturned and they found Cleo. So to run you through that timeline, so they were camping on a Friday night, Saturday morning she was gone, and today, you know, 18 days later, 1 a.m. this morning, she's been found.
Just a matter of hours ago. Absolutely incredible news. All of Australia this morning is celebrating absolutely all of Australia.